Hello, everyone, and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/LOTRO. Thank you very much for joining me on a wintry Friday noon here in the Boston area. Thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Looks like you guys can hear me okay, see me okay, all that sort of thing, so we're good to go. Also want to thank Druids Fire again for being here in chat on Discord. How you doing, Druids?
Okie dokie.
First, the news. I should try reading it like a 50s movie announcer, but no. Anyway, first the bad news. Looks like we're not going to be able to get Bullroarer out today. Reason for that is we had a build issue overnight. So our Bullroarer build failed. Not a big deal, though. We actually just need to do a rebuild. Well, that doesn't mean we can't get it out today. So the goal is to probably get it out this weekend. Stay tuned on the Bullroarer forums for that. It'll be our first preview here of Update 22. I think I got that number right. So that's the problem when I do multiple games. We have multiple updates. I have to remember which number each one's at. But yes, anyway, so probably getting to Bullroarer this weekend, but it's not going to be today because we need to do some work behind the scenes to get that ready for you. We will have release notes out along with the Bullroarer update this weekend, should it go out. But ultimately, just stay tuned to the Bullroarer forums, and the QA team will have the latest there. Do the devs have to work on weekends? Not usually, although many do because they want to, and sometimes they do because they have to. This is a mix of both there. So people are doing it because they want to get this out. They're also doing it because they couldn't get it out today. So does that mean you're forced to come in? Well, not really forced, but... the other thing I would mention is this is a bonus weekend. We do have a 25% crafting XP boost. This goes through Sunday, February 11th. Gets turned off at 3 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, February 12th. Additionally, we've got kind of an awesome free coupon here. It's a free black steel key with the code OPENBOX. So that ain't bad. Who doesn't want a free black steel key, right? So there you go. So that's what we got going on in the bonus days. We got that on the news. And otherwise, you know, we're just hard at work here on Update 22, getting it ready for Bullroarer, doing polish in the dev team. We did, on the classwork, I know that's something that a lot of people have consistently asked about. We are making progress on that. We have one of the devs that's just starting, I would say starting-ish, to do some Guardian work, it looks like, in the relatively near future. So the person's been doing a bunch of research in the last day or so, trying to get all that sort of thing. So there you go. All right, let me head to YouTube here quick. I said last week the plans are to look ahead in regard to content and not back, but with many of the things that need updating are things we are going forward with, Pots, War Steed, Stat Legs. So why no plans to update the stat numbers on those things? Stat legs? Does that make sense to you, Druid's Fire? What's a stat leg? Anyway, why no plans to update the stat numbers? I wouldn't say no plans, but it's something that if we do that work, it would be done, you know, in conjunction with other development work that we're doing. Stat legacies, okay. Yeah, I mean, you could take a look at that stuff as we're working on various things there. But I guess the ultimate point of that question was, as I understood it, are we going to go back and redo all the public areas in addition to all the systems dating back for the last 10 years? And the answer to that is probably not. We're more likely to incorporate changes to that stuff as we move forward with development. Is the in-game store coming back to the Mac client anytime soon? No. Sorry. It does not pass muster with the PCI compliance we need to do. So Nope. Sorry. I didn't forget to turn on the mic. I actually thought of that this time. Yeah. All right, let me quick head to Facebook then before I do a thing, and then we head in game. I'm not going to answer that question, Hillary, but that is a funny one. Not safe for work, that question is. Anyway, so, Druid's Fire, what do you got on tap today on your stream? You're streaming here later on this afternoon. Let's go do a quick shout-out. What you got going on?
As usual, I have no idea.
All right. That sounds good. What am I doing today, epic questing-wise? I actually did a little bit of the epic book last night, in addition to just kind of a few of the turn-in quests, whatever you want to call those things. And so I'm ready to continue the epic book. I believe I'm up to books, or volume 7, chapter 2, something like that. And so we'll have that in just a second. But before I do that, I wanted to do something I did last week, and that is play for you another music track. This was supplied by our music person doing the work for Update 22. This is music for the Dale Lands, and it's just a couple minutes long. Looks like about 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm going to hit play on that sort of thing. I'm muting my mic and sit back and enjoy. Thanks. I am unmuted. The audio is set. It looks like we should be good to go. Hopefully everybody is hearing me okie dokie now. Thank you very much again. That was some great music from the Dale Lands here coming in Update 22. I did notice some questions came in over the music break there. So someone mentioning, any sneaky small hints about the future raid? No, I can't really hint about the raid yet. It'll be later this year. David Rutgers. I'm sorry to go off topic, folks, but you have asked a question that triggers one of the things that I have long been an advocate for, saying it
Audio Nerdica coming up.
Yep, exactly. It might be me, but are you using an SM57 as a microphone? People often get that confused. You know, they have done an excellent job at marketing the Shure SM58 as a vocal mic. It's been that way for decades, and people love it. Yes, I personally prefer the SM57 as a vocal microphone. They market it as a guitar and drum mic, but it isn't. It is just a simple dynamic cardioid microphone. In my opinion, it works better for podcasting and broadcasting than the Shure SM58. The reason being, the SM58 is a very decent colored, by colored I mean it colors the sound, a vocal mic where you need to, it has a very close pattern, so you have to speak right into the thing in order to get a good sound. Whereas the SM57 has more of a teardrop shape, so you can actually be a little bit farther back and use it. And by the way, I'm not breaking new ground here. It's called the Shure SM57 because it came out before the Shure SM58. Ask Frank Sinatra if it was a decent enough vocal mic. Ask Miles Davis if it was a good enough sort of lead mic. It has been used for vocals for decades before the SM58 came out, but nowadays people are like, why are you using a drum mic for your vocal mic? I'm using it because it rocks. The thing is cheap, and you could literally run it over with your car and still hook it up and it'll work. Sorry to go off topic, but like I say, that is a personal thing of mine where I have been advocating for the Shure SM57 as a vocal mic for as long as I've been in bands, and people have been telling me I've been wrong for using it. Last week I mentioned the character creation screen facelift. Any news you can share about UI scaling for higher resolution screens? No, this is not intended to be a UI facelift for 4K monitors. That may happen someday in the future when 4K monitors are more prevalent and we have a larger percentage of people who play on 4K monitors. We definitely recognize that some UI elements in particular get exceptionally small on 4K monitors, and so we know that that's something some folks want us to do. As soon as we can carve out the time for it and it makes sort of development sense to do that work, we will do that work. But it's going to be a fairly significant update because it's really going to be re-engineering and redoing a lot of the UI elements. Any word on any PvP-related work? Yay, we got asked the question earlier today. No, sorry. No word on any PvP-related work. If we do any work this year, it'll be minor stuff. Downgrade from the AT2020 I was using compared to the Shure SM57. Yeah, I like the SM57 and I like the AT2020. I've got the AT2020 over on the other computer, and that's why I'm using the Shure for this one. Is this music from the next update? Yes, that was.
It actually reminded me of the music in the Cape of Belfast housing area. Not that there's any housing announcements having been made, chat room.
Nice. Actually, I think that might make some sense. I believe the same person worked on that.
So can you give the actual credit to the composer? Because, you know, we need to follow that person on Twitter and stuff.
Yes, if I could remember his forum name. I can't think of the forum name right now. Sorry. I'll do that if I can.
I'll post a note, remind us later.
Yep. Bill is his name. And he's also, otherwise, is our QA lead, so.
Neat.
Yep. I do like the the Audio-Technica AT2020. One minor thing for those tech nerds out there, the AT2020 requires phantom power, whereas the Shure SM57 does not. So depending on your mixing board setup on that, if you want to just plug it in and not have to deal with phantom power, that's another reason I got the SM57. Cough, 64-bit client, cough. No thing to say about the 64-bit client. Can I name the areas going to appear in Update 22? I could, but I kind of want to save that for our preview worlds. We really want to get people previewing the stuff on Bullroarer. And so the more I kind of talk about it now, the less people are motivated to go to Bullroarer. So... a long time ago, the LOTRO market had many items for sale besides just the expansions, like an account-wide unlock for class steeds. Any chance we could see them return for money? Theoretically, we could do that. I believe the difference there is we have a different kind of third-party processor than we used to have, and we haven't updated that to include, I think, the keys that would be necessary to bring some of those things to it. But theoretically, it seems like something we could do that work. All right. Please change new graphic. Okay. Any plans to make the ignore list bigger? We've talked about it, but no immediate plans to do that. But it would not surprise me if at some point here we did exactly that. All right, Druid's Fire. So we are meeting with Ragnall south of, Bale Cathernack, west of Gathfornir.
Yep.
And so I need to find out where Bale Cathernack is.
Or you can just follow me.
Yeah, I could do that. I have to say, getting to this area was a little tricky because there's some.
Could I speak with you a moment?
There's some
interesting mobs.
Yeah, some red mobs that were knocking me off my steed. Where'd you go? Let me talk to these people and just pick up the quests. Oh, the battle for Augir, I assume that's not yet.
Not it.
Alright. When will Bullroarer be up? Just to reiterate, we were hoping to get it up today, but unfortunately an issue came up in the build. So we can't use the current build for Bullroarer, so we're rebuilding, and that means it'll probably be up this weekend, assuming we correct the issue and it doesn't happen again. So stay tuned on the Bullroarer forums, and that'll be your best guide for that stuff. Darth Celtics. That's the forum name of our QA guy who is doing the music.
Nice.
Yep. Just came to my head finally. This is a very pretty looking area. I also did, you know, you trolled me last week on those monument things. I did kill it, so now I'm just taking a little damage when I walk by it. Or ride by it.
Well, it's a good thing that I'd noticed you'd moved on. Otherwise, I would have been stuck on the other side, except for Mithril Coin. Yeah.
Actually, you can teleport, can't you? Or not teleport,
but... You can Mithril Coin to Gathforth there, but you still die if you pass the other way.
Oh, okay, yeah. But couldn't you use a Stable Master to get past it?
No, because the Stable Master's not unlocked. Well, you can use the Stable Master because that's swift travel, but yeah, actually going through the landscape, you'd have been,
All right.
Then we go ride back.
Happy National Pizza Day. Wow, if I had known it was National Pizza Day, I would have worn my my pizza-themed t-shirt. It says powered by pizza, for I am indeed powered by pizza.
You are what you eat, Cord.
I am. You know, as I get older, that metabolism slows down and your weight goes up, so you have to be a little more careful about how much pizza you eat. But there was a time where I was in college and I pretty much just ate pizza, almost Frank Zappa style. You know, if you don't know, all Frank Zappa pretty much ever ate, he was a musician, was hot dogs. That's literally about the only thing he ever ate.
Who doesn't know that Frank Zappa was a musician?
Yeah, there might be some people out there. But anyway, it's true. He literally almost only ate hot dogs. And there was a time in my life where I literally almost only ate pizza. Now I have a more balanced diet, but I still have a very pizza-heavy diet.
But it's just like pizza and tofu, right?
Yes. I like tofu as well. Kind of, you know, in the spectrum of healthy foods, you know, tofu's on one end and pizza's probably somewhere closer to the other end. Yes, Darth Celtic's McVegan Pants did indeed appear on the anniversary stream.
You kindly convey to Darth Celtics that he's doing a wonderful job with music.
Melissa over on YouTube, when are we getting Neeker Breaker cosmetic pets? Good question. I don't have an answer for you, but man, that sure would be cool. Did I know dwarves like pineapple on their pizza? I can't imagine that's true.
But do you like pineapple on your pizza? That's the important question.
Not really. I mean, it's okay, but not really. It's true. Also, pizza's only unhealthy if you put unhealthy stuff on it. Also, if you make it yourself, you know, you tend to have a lot less kind of grease and fat and things like that on that. And I do indeed make my own pizza crusts and make my own pizzas. So I put a little light sprinkling of cheese on it, and it is healthier than
what can I do for you?
It could be. So.
Would you do something for me?
I personally like pineapple on pizza, but I would never force it on my friends if they didn't like it.
Lairden is in Gathfornier. Okay.
He's over here.
Yep, that we can stable master too, if I recall, right?
We're in Gathfornier.
Oh, yeah, you know, this is the second time I did that, actually. I did that last night, where I was like, oh, where am I going? And then I'd come to find out I'm going right where I be.
This is the first time we meet Lairden. This will not be the last time.
I'm not seeing Lairden. Where is he?
You have to go in through the portal in the back of that room.
Oh, okay. Oh,
this is a very cleverly instanced hub.
Alas, but I have never taken the time to learn the cruel mutterings of the orcs. I have no desire to speak with them by any means save my sword. If this scroll did indeed come from Carn Dûm, Elrond Half-Elven may have an interest in it, and he assuredly knows the Black Speech. Go to Rivendell and seek out the master of the last homely house, if you would know the answer to your riddle. Well, that is a place I have been.
A lot.
By the way, if I was in charge of this game, I think I would probably just have Elrond hanging out on the porch outside of the last homely house instead of in the library. Be a lot easier.
Well, you might want to talk to Maid Alliance about that.
Somehow I don't
like,
think
Jeff,
they
why'd
would
you
agree
put him
with
in
me.
there?
I mean, it's a perfectly good place for him. It's just that since you do have to go there so frequently, you know. Nice, a brick oven to make flatbreads. That's awesome. I actually have, and again, I'm sorry, this is off topic. I know some folks hate it when I go off topic. I use a cast iron skillet for a lot of my flatbreads. Like, I'll make naan when I'm making Indian food and stuff. And you can make naan pretty well in a cast iron skillet. I tried things like, because I don't have a tandoori oven, so obviously, so I didn't have that. I tried a pizza stone. You know, I tried some of the other kind of things out there that people would use, and in my experience, the cast iron skillet worked the best. Ah, or that would be another one. Have the stables closer to the last homely house. But, you know, Elrond is a pretty fancy guy. I think he gets to call the shots, and if he doesn't want smelly horses near his house.
He sure wasn't happy when Kiergoth spawned a whole bunch of chickens in his foyer.
Right. I mean, it's fairly easy to get to, but it is, you know, several loading screens, so that would be kind of nice to...
Well, I put the library on the top floor just in case the rivers overflowed and flooded the basement.
You were sent by the daughter of Golidir and by the elf Lairden. What a strange fate has brought you hither. The shadow of Angmar has grown with the shadow in the east. Give me the scroll, I will unravel. Oh, hey, it's an Elrond pun. I will unravel this mystery for you. Lord Eel's hopes were not wholly in vain, for the scroll does indeed reveal the way to pass the gates of Cairn Doom. The scroll tells of a special key needed. It's a mithril key. Alright.
Dark days are coming.
Okay, so now we are heading to Thorin's Hall, right?
Yep. There's the invisible speed bump. Where that spotlight is, there's actually a speed bump.
Nice. It's probably just a little piece of invisible physics. You know,
Yep.
kind of a leftover remnant from where the two pieces of art sort of joined together. Are there any plans on fixing the stats on the raid armor sets for Captain and Warden? I have not heard of plans to adjust these stats on the raid armor sets. Sorry. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I just wasn't far enough. There we go.
Elrond doesn't like us taking that shortcut.
Yeah. Well, they put a lot of time and effort into getting that bush all pretty, and we're just sort of constantly tearing it apart.
What do you need?
Gotta go to Southbury first.
Good to know. Let's see. Sad Ranger has a question on walking animations for the Runekeeper and Minstrel as they perform, so they would not just slide on the ground. We could theoretically put in that time to do it. Animations tend to be a very costly thing, but theoretically we could do that work, and may someday. I have not heard of plans to specifically do that, though.
You can go straight to Thorn's Gate from the Southbury. Kind of cool.
There we go. Will High Elves be getting any further adjustments besides the men and elf models? Some hairstyles still have clipping or graphical oddities on them. I do think we are going to get some work done on the clipping for hairstyles. It's actually surprisingly not insignificant work, because what we have to do is create the hair. Let's see, how did I get it described? So the forehead on the high elves actually sticks out a little bit further than the base rig model. So in order to fix that clipping issue, we actually have to remake versions of every one of the hairstyles for the high elf and then hook it up. That's basically the same version of the hair, but a little bit larger so that it doesn't clip through. I do think we are going to be doing that work, though. No time frame on when, but that came up in the same meeting where the human and elf facial adjustments were made, so... You know, I agree with you, Melissa. I do not find the last homely house that homely. I agree. I wouldn't describe the last homely house as homely. I would say it's almost more regal than it is homely.
Greetings. Will you stay and speak with me a moment? Will you help me?
Alright, so we are...
Are you going to Mickle Delving first, or Archip?
Oh, I don't know. If we have to go back through South Bree, wouldn't it make sense to go to Mickle Delving first?
No, you can go straight to either one from our stable master here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All the starting areas are linked together like that.
It doesn't really matter to me. Do you have a preference?
Nah.
Well, Archit begins with A.
And it's also the further ride.
Okay.
Because it doesn't even have a stable master. You have to go to Coombe and then go over from there. Everybody in chat's fighting over who Belle loves the best. Everybody knows she loves me the best. After her boyfriend.
What do you want?
Wait a second. I'm not seeing Arquette.
As I said, you have to go through Coombe. First option in the stable master.
Oh, you're right. I wasn't paying attention to you. Hey, Bloodborne, how's it going? I really appreciate you being here. Good luck on your Sunday show, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday for Bloodborne Show.
Echoes in the dark with all the shing.
Yes.
Here's a fun fact. Bloodborne lives about 10, 15, 20 miles from where I live. I've never met him. He lives across the river.
Nice. What server am I on, and how do I get that mount? The server I am on is
What do you need?
Landreval. Wait a second, now where am I going?
Follow me.
Oh, I'm actually not swift traveling? Okay.
No, you can't swift travel to Archit. It doesn't have a stable master.
No. Anyway, the question was, how do I get that mount? This was the elk mount that came out with the Yule Festival this year. And the Yule Festival is going to be getting an encore later this month, I believe. Check the LOTRO events calendar for the exact start and end date of it, but the Yule Festival is getting an encore, and you can get this mount from it. It's pretty awesome. It was the big thing I wanted to get this year. It's not too hard to get.
I like this elk mount.
I'm guessing maybe 4 hours worth of work, if that.
Not even that.
Yeah.
Especially now that you can convert festival tokens from other festivals. But the Yule Festival, it's stupid easy to get tokens.
Yeah. Greetings, friend. What may I help you with? You say you have come all the way from the Blue Mountains to retrieve that old ruined key we found. It is true. It was found among things we believe were Calder Cobbs.
Might I take a moment of your time?
No, I don't need to do a level 5 quest.
Yeah, that's the human epic prologue.
Yep. Alright, so now we are going to Keeper Brombard Foxtail. And that
Gonna go
is...
visit my homeland, the Shire.
The Captain Warden tank set has DPS stats, and the Captain, or the other one has tanking stats. The Warden set has DPS stats for its tanking set. Yes. I am aware of that perception. What I am not aware of is whether or not that was deliberate or not. But I will check into it. But I think it may largely be a difference of opinion. Sometimes, you know, armor is meant to solve a problem that people have reported. So that may well be the case here. Now we're going to Michael Delving?
Michael Delving indeed.
Am I running a lower bit rate today, or is my internet being trash? Well, I am not deliberately running a lower bit rate. I believe I've got it set as a constant bit rate. Where'd you go? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I popped off the mount before it went to the stable master.
Will the new class-bound vendors in Lycan, Orthanc, Moria, and Lothlorien ever be opened up to barter with all classes like they used to? I have heard of no plans to do that. Theoretically, that seems like something we could do. I'm not quite sure why we'd want to, but if it was changed to be class-specific, there may be a reason for that. But I don't know. Sonia, I will also have to look into the Runekeeper being unable to equip cosmetic weapons and items. Do you know about that, Druid's Fire? Is it simply because they're sort of not using weapons for their main hands, and so if you try to equip it, it takes off their animation for their Runekeeper set, or is there something else going on?
I am unaware because I haven't played my RuneKeeper recently.
Okay. Yeah, I don't personally know about that one either, so I'll have to...
Add it to the list of things to check on later.
Alright, so now we're going to Dwaylen, so that again, where was that now? That was in
Back to Thorin's Hall.
Yeah.
Gussie is in the house. All Rangers, watch your pants.
Oops. And again, oh, Thorin's Gate. There we go. Runekeepers aren't supposed to have cosmetic ones. See, that was kind of my impression, right? Because they don't... But for those who would want to... Seems like maybe you should be able to. But again, if it's going to mess up with the sort of graphics and animation of things. Oh, I should probably dismount. Where's my mouse? Oh, well.
Oh, Agent Brigman's in the house.
Is it?
Our
Oh,
Lady of
nice.
the
Hey,
Society.
Agent Brigman. I really like your show. Thank you very much for being on LOTRO stream here. It's been really cool to see your show take off and do cool things. Yeah, Runekeepers can't really equip weapons, so they wouldn't show up equipped cosmetically. Yeah. The thing that is weird is that classes like Guardian have the same stats on their armor, but correctly. Tank and Gear has tank stats, and the DPS sets have offensive stats. It seems useless to give a tank captain offensive stats and not defensive stats. I'll have to look into that. It may be that, say, some of our tanks were like, we need to improve our DPS, and the dev team may have responded by giving him an option to help improve their DPS through that method. But I will need to do further checking to make sure.
What do you want?
Now I'm going to Litley.
I'm trying to talk Agent Brigman into coming to PAX East for the meetup.
Oh yeah? Cool.
Yep. She lives in New England as well. I heard Evil's going to be there too, and I'm not talking about myself.
Oh, that sounds great. That's cool. Okay, so where am I going? Am I going down the side of the stairs here? Yep. Kind of by where the contest takes place.
I think it's at somewhere in the Forges area, but I don't
Yeah.
remember where it is. Looking for a quest ring in here.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a quest ring.
Yeah, I'm not either. It'd be nice if we could see the NPC names on the map.
It says, found by the forge near the throne of Thorin's Hall, so that's close by Dwalin.
Yeah, okay, okay. So maybe I just missed it.
Most likely.
What he is saying about the raid armor is the stats do not match the trait line they are made for. Okay. And how do you know it was made for that specific trait line? Is there something in the
here's
description that says this is for this trait line?
Right here.
Oh, there you go.
Dwalin's personal forge.
Greetings.
Couldn't he have just said, yo, Litley, come here? Make us get on our horses and ride to him.
So used to using the crafting forge downstairs.
I am not submitting a panel for PAX East. I'm only going to PAX East itself on Friday. Tickets all sold out by the time I could get any. And so I did get a Friday pass. And Friday night is tentatively when we're going to be doing our SSG meetup, both LOTRO and probably DDO as well. And we'll have more information about that as we get closer to it.
I'm trying to talk Corey into showing up as well.
Finson asked a question about connection loss since the last 2 maintenances. I don't have anything to pass along. We have looked at it, but it's not consistent and it's not really impacting any everybody. But it also doesn't appear to be backbone related or geographic related, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, Gloin's Camp. Oh, darn it, I was actually just at Gloin's Camp. And then I bound to that other place. Gable Shathir.
Why are you going to Glowin's Camp? I get told to go claim Thor's hammer from.
Oh, talk to Dwaylen. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong quest.
Yeah.
I agree that Rune Keepers, it would be nice to be able to equip things like flowers and mugs and all that sort of thing. But I do think it is deliberate. That is not the case. Oh, hey, I have a question for the stat folks out there. I currently have equipped the Necklace of Buth Sankas, I believe, Sankas, however you say it. And I do have the 2 different set items equipped for that. Is that a pretty good item to be wearing at this level? Or should I move to something that has a more might and vitality and resistance rating?
You shouldn't wear anything with might at all. You're a minstrel.
Yeah, but I need to kill things, don't I?
No, you need things with will.
I use will like 2 hit. See,
As a minstrel, will is your primary stat.
Well, I knew that, but still, as a stat where I also want to hit things with things and let them die, don't I want might for that?
No. You kill things with music, so you need will.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know I need
I'm
will,
not
but
sure.
I assumed I needed both just because I assumed, you know, per D&D sort of things, that might was probably the equivalent of strength, and strength is 2 hit and damage.
This
And
is
will
LOTRO,
is
not
the...
DDO.
Well, I know, but they're both based on RPGs. So you're telling me that's not the case?
That is not the case.
So literally might has no benefit whatsoever to me.
Pretty much. You want tactical mastery as your secondary stat.
Okay, well, I knew that too.
So yeah.
Yeah.
If,
I mean, I
if you
knew about
hover
will and
over
tactical
the...
mastery, but I was of the impression that I wanted at least a little bit of might just to be able to do combat a little bit stronger.
No, that's incorrect.
Okay.
If you hover over the stats on your character screen, it'll tell you what they do and how they benefit you. For the most part, it'll let you know which ones are most important for your class. And
Right.
might is not anywhere at all important for minstrels.
Okay. Because I knew, for example, tactical mastery and will was the most important thing for my minstrel, but I thought there was still at least some benefit, since I was getting items with it on anyway, to have some. But if you're saying I should literally have 0 might, you know, like the difference between what I have and 0 is absolutely the same, then that changes things.
As Ponton says in chat, minstrels use will for tactical mastery because you do tactical damage. Might is for physical damage. You're not killing anything with your weapons, you're singing them to death, or as Gussimu said, killing them softly with your song.
I am drum soloing them to death, thank you very much.
Because we know you can't sing.
Yes.
Hall has tasked the heroes of Eriador with recovering Thorin's hammer from the tomb of Stormbrim, where the Dour Hands have enshrined it as a memorial of victory over Duritz.
Okay. Will I wear bunny ears for me, Cord, to show your support for bunnies? I do support bunnies. I don't know about wearing bunny ears. I'm certainly not going to go out of my way to wear bunny ears, but if there happened to be a pair of bunny ears sitting next to me, I might put them on for someone on stream to be nice. I am most certainly not afraid of wearing bunny ears on stream. I think most people know at this point I have basically no shame. So.
Can you kindly switch to melody stance at least?
Why?
Because you were in nuke stance and we have not. Well, we're almost dying.
We're not almost dying. We're
You haven't been paying attention.
You're not even at half health. But yes, I will heal you.
Thank you. For a second there, I thought I was playing DDO with the traps.
I know, right? So I assumed might would come into play when I was just sort of killing time on the landscape and just trading whacks with things. And so that's sort of why I allowed myself to have a little bit of might. But if it really truly doesn't matter at all, then I'll just change that. And not worry about it. But again, it's not so much that I'm building for might, I'm just getting some might along with my will stuff anyway, so might as well not worry about it, you know?
By having might gear, you're denying yourself extra will. Yeah, you don't want to multi-class in that regard.
People are saying I shouldn't be using a shield either, huh?
You're more like a cleric.
I know, but clerics wear shields.
Ouch.
I can raise you.
Or I could just res out here at the beginning.
What happened to my res? Oh, here we go.
Nah, I'm already out here. You die and then you res at the beginning.
So my general thinking on the shield thing was just, well, if I'm a one-handed person, then why not put a shield in my offhand? You know, I figured a shield's going to provide some benefit. But if that's not true...
You can get shields made that have will on them, too. Yeah, there are shields specifically made for minstrels in-game, and that can be crafted for minstrels.
So, you would disagree with the statement that mini shields is almost worthless?
I would disagree with that statement heartily, yeah.
Okay.
Because shields for minstrels are specifically made for minstrels. That they don't have might on them. Yeah. If you're a minstrel and your shield has might on it, you're using the wrong shield. And I know for darn sure any gear I sent you did not have might on it, because I know better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have been, you know, when I see something that has higher will than I currently equip, I do equip that, so I'm not entirely clueless in that regard. But I definitely have not also been seeking out specific items for my character at this point, just under the assumption that that's really more of an endgame thing. At this point, I push buttons and things die, so it doesn't really matter that much, does it?
It still matters in earlier content, yes, because your dying won't happen quite as easily or quickly, or sometimes at all, if you are misgeared even in, you know, regular... Like, if you put, like, half of your gear as might just for giggles, or because you think you need some might, as a minstrel, you're not going to do very well.
Sure.
What do you want? What do you want?
All right. So, for example, I have equipped the Dwarf Iron Shield. That gives me 280 critical defense, plus 10 will, and a little bit of Fate and Vitality. Granted, it's only level 34, so I need to update anyway, but I haven't picked out a shield with higher stats yet. But isn't critical defense, isn't that going to be useful? Like, would I want to update to Dwalin's Shield, potentially, to get 408 critical defense, along with some in-combat power? Well, actually, power regen doesn't really matter that much. But...
Yeah, as an upgrade, the Dwalin Shield is a good option for you versus anything else here.
Yeah. That's what I would think, too.
I mean, the Drakebiter, I don't... If you're using the teal weapon that I gave you, like, at level 42 or whatever, the Drakebiter should not be an upgrade for you.
Yeah, I'm just currently using the Exceptional Lax of Deep Wounds, which I do need to get rid of, but I just put it on for the Vitality, and the fact that when I did whack things, I would lower their armor and apply an AoE, or not AoE, but a dot damage to them.
But one thing to bear in mind is you're going to get your LI pretty soon, so yeah, you're not really needing to upgrade your weapon at this moment. I'd say probably go with the shield.
Yeah, sounds good.
Southern Belle, you definitely need to do that.
Looks like we're getting close to the end of the show, so let me go through our chat here to see what kind of stuff I should answer before we call it a shear. Yeah, exactly. So JFD Kamara, minstrels can only use one-handed weapons, so anything the shield gives is a bonus. Right. Alright. Can we possibly get the amount of runes that drop from Court of Saragost lowered in favor of increasing amounts of Anphilis Scrolls of Empowerment? I have not heard of plans to update the rewards from Court of Saragost, sorry. You can send me a Pigborn, Southern Belle, but I'm a drum soloer. I drum solo things to death. That's what I like to do. So I agree that I should probably avoid getting hit, but I also kind of plan to the assumption of, am I actually dying? If the answer is no, then I'm fine, you know? So
You can go over a few minutes if you want, by the way. Corey is still streaming over on his channel.
Well, I got lunch and stuff to do, but I will answer a few more questions here. When's the Hobbit and Dwarf update coming? No answer yet. It is actively being worked on, although, like I said, we're doing some further work on humans and elves. That'll come first, and then the Hobbit and Dwarf stuff will come out when it's in a position to, when it's ready, basically. We don't have it assigned to a specific timeline at this point. Is Bullroarer open? Cordovan says no, but it's patching, so I don't know. Well, that would be news to me if it's patching. I suspect what probably happened is, yes, it might patch, but that's probably patching up to the broken build. Because they probably patched it, brought it over from, the build environment to Bullroarer, tried to QA it on Bullroarer to see if it's ready to open to players, and the answer was nope. So you probably will patch up, but you won't be able to enter the game world. And my guess is you'll just have to patch up again this weekend when they are ready to open that up.
There's nothing on the forum about it yet.
Yeah. I think the name of the show is going to have to be You Need Will. People in chat are like, you're a dumbass. Which I know. But, you know, whatever. It's all good. So. Okay. Alright. Thank you very much for watching Court of the Rings here on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I really do appreciate you being here. Keep an eye out on our Twitch channel at LOTRO Stream for shows all weekend long. We also have a link to a Google Calendar where you can find out where all the shows are. We have got a full Fridays. Our Fridays are looking awesome, and our weekends are quite good too. So, if you want to hang out this weekend while playing or whatever, we sure would appreciate that. Otherwise, I'll be back next Friday at noon for more Court of the Rings. Thanks, Druid's Fire, for joining me, and thank you everyone in the audience for being here as well. Have a great weekend.